Work a lot. Sorry. Hey everyone. Have your attention. Thank you. Thank you, Murphy. So this is the Doge team, retail team. We're going to be demoing some stuff for you today, getting to wrapping up Parity, Services Parity with 2.0, and hopefully migrating additional clients or brands onto Yes.
What's Parity?
Parity. So they're
Boy band.
Yeah, the boy band. He's the lead singer. I'm backup. Anyway. So yeah, this is really getting the Parity with 2.0, so we can migrate additional brands over. Most of this will be pretty self-explanatory, but we want to be able to show them doing it in the spring. And we'll be reaching out, giving some feedback iteratively as usual. So yeah, I'll turn it over to Brian.
All right. So the first thing we did was get this currency culture working on T3. So now you can set it'll use what's currently configured in the business unit to determine what's currency symbol to show, as well as if there was a date time anywhere on here, etc. So localize, nice. The next thing we were tasked to do is to be able to regift like you can on T2 and edit the message. So here's some new buttons. They're like you would expect, easily configurable in our T3 fully customized template. And it works very straightforward like you would expect. There's the new message, and you can see this reflected in pass. It uses the same method to update as well as with regift. So I'm going to go ahead and send this gift card that I just edited the message of to myself, and I'll pull up email in a second and show you that it sent a template, same as you would expect. While I give that some time. So we took this, there was one difficult piece to this, this send as gift regifting ability, which was the email. The email component, as operations users are well aware, is very complicated, very difficult to work with. You probably don't enjoy it very well. Same could be said from the back-end side. Developers, I cringe when I have to do anything with email templates. It's so confusing. Nobody enjoys it. So we were about to go down that path again, like I had many times before, and just update it, you know, tweak one more thing with it, but we decided to take it as an opportunity to improve it, make it better for both operations and developers. So let's see here. Get the email, and here's the regift email. It looks very similar to the one before, right? Not a whole lot of things have changed. Sent at 1:35. Cool. And that one goes to the recipient. So now let's talk about how you would configure an email the old way. It's basically this horrible looking screen right here. There's so many input fields. Raise your hand if you know what a notification event is and how to use it. That's about what I thought. Same with all these other things. Usage, I don't know. It's just so many options here. The template itself, I believe, is rendered in C#. Developers, you know what the pain points are in that. It's like, yeah, not very pretty to look at and not very easy to use. So let's take a look at what we've done with our current search. So this is our current editor. We've run through this before. You're pretty familiar with it. You can see the edit message is there now. And you could actually use it, you know, while you're editing the cert, make sure it still works, yada yada. But the cool thing that we worked on was, here's your regift email template. You can input the HTML right into this field. and have a live preview right as you're editing it. So we can just do a simple edit test. Shows up right there. You don't have to go through any sort of process to figure out where it's used, how it's used, figure out what button you need to click to get the email. And if you're not sure if your change is going to show up exactly how it does in a web page, you can actually just go right up here, type in your email, and hit the send button. And what that'll do is it won't send what's published, it'll send what you're working on. So even though you didn't hit this publish button, you can still get an email with this test right at the beginning. I'll show you in a second. And as you'll notice, the template itself is much easier to read. It's just very basic HTML. Here's a table, some styles. Here's how you do a message too.
Essentially using mustache templating, which is like standardized templating.
Yeah, so right here you can see settings.brand name. You can basically have it be any one of these things, but you know, brand name is what it was before. And as soon as spell it right. Yeah. And there you go.
It's easier to get right? So like as you're making your edit, you can see that, oh wait, no, that's not showing up right there. That's like a huge difference from the old way. Like think about what it was done before. What you have to do is you have to modify the little text box you saw, which isn't formatted to actually look like HTML for one. Very small box.
Yeah.
And has kind of this like goofy, like if you look, scroll down a little bit, we had this like goofy certificate URL list thing. The code that actually does that is terrible. And actually when we had ReSharper on, we found a lot of code paths that weren't used. It made us very scared to actually try to re-implement something on top of that. So now, if you were going to go the old way, you'd edit that, you'd save it, you'd actually go and try to do a gift card, and you'd hopefully have that business unit in test mode or something, so you can actually see what kind of changes were going to happen. But this way, if you go back to the new screen, essentially you can make the changes right here. You can send a test email. You can, this plugs into our system of like save and publish. So you can save this, and then people can get the sample cert and try out the test email and have that before it actually gets published out. So you get the whole thing approved, and it should be a lot easier to get things up and running and make changes and make any corrections you need to make before they go out. So it's going to be where is it?
It's in the cert editor. Yeah, so it deals specifically with the cert and specifically when you regift it. So I figured this was the best place at the moment to do it. Uh-huh.
We hope to migrate any like cert-specific emails into a similar set. The settings page we have right now is kind of a V1. We want to reorganize that so it's much clearer that there are like sections.
But what I was going to say about that was, Brian, can you show the like advanced stuff and show like the CSS page? It's like a whole editor in one thing. Like
Sure. So
yeah, or
CSS.
what we're probably going to do is split up the navigation. We have like search stuff and email stuff, and then in that you'll have like these whole sections where you can. Right now, all of our settings are in like one kind of compressed page, and you know it was out of the scope of this sprint, but you can reorganize all this stuff so it's a lot easier to dig through and make changes and whatnot.
So the nice thing about this is a feature that gets us to feature parity with the old cert, meaning that like all the features from old cert are also now in new cert, right? Feature parity, that's what it means. And it's a great way to tackle some of the technical debt, which we've identified as our email templates. One of the things that Mustache is going to do really, really well compared to our old, well, the existing email that we do right now is to use some old Razor templates, and there's a compile step in there that during our performance testing, what I highlighted is one of the biggest reasons that submit order has to be limited to the number of recipients you can send it to, because it just takes down our system. So this is a great opportunity to use to actually add this as a proof of concept to see that the solution will work and that like the experience for managing this from an ops perspective is improved. And then that we can migrate other things now that we've already put in some core pieces to it to use this much easier. Those stories are going to be much smaller to actually migrate and fix before performance issues that we wouldn't have been able to do before. So even though this is kind of like a weird, well, let's spike this and see if it would be easier to actually try to do this new thing rather than re-implement the old thing. There's a lot of really terrible code in it. And it's now we've got this email pipeline fully tested in an automated way, running through our continuous integration, and we can, in a very careful way, sort of see that that is going to make a pretty decent improvement. So.
And another pretty important thing with feature parity is you kind of notice from design, we've touched basically everything around the actual cert and the actual email inside here, because we don't want to change those, because we don't want when clients are switching over to have like an approval process or like anything new really. It's all kind of behind the scenes, massive upgrades to the system. And that's what we've done. I mean, the HTML is much better than it was, but they won't notice that stuff right away. Probably on the performance side, they might.
And we still pulled out some things, like if you notice there's brand name and there's
background color,
email subject, the background color. Some of the things that are, we don't want you to have to update this email template HTML. We want you to be able to just modify, some of the fields here that are common, like differences. And just like the other settings for cert, we'll be able to pull those out gradually. And the cost of doing that is really, really low. So.
The version too, which you mentioned kind of in passing, but that's something that currently there's no.
Who works on the email templates? Okay, so tell me what so I don't know if everybody knows this, but how do you feel about having a send test email button right here? Is that?
Well, right now we have to copy the code, bring it to W3 tools. We can only see the HTML because we can't see how it connects to our system. We actually have to go through the process of sending a full one. Yeah. Thank you.
So
How much do you say this improves the productivity?
Like 60%, 70%.
Awesome.
We're gonna get so much more done.
So-
Other bottlenecks now.
Something else.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Before we wrap it up, though, there was I was able to play around with it a bit. I enjoyed using the editor and whatnot, and I just Googled email templates, found a good-looking one, pasted it in, very minimal changes, and you can do quite a bit with this, and it'll still you can still use our let's see here. Got that tested. We could do right in any template you find. Yeah.
Of course, you keep putting it at the top of the page, and people are like, "Why the heck would you put something right there?"
Hey, it's the easiest place for me to put. But the point is, it took me maybe 5 minutes to find this awesome template, copy its code, paste it here, and get it working. And it's really yeah. And you don't even know what you're doing. Like, you can't see it half the time. Here you can go and send yourself a test email. Maybe when I have internet, but you can send a test email. You can see exactly what you get in an email instead of guessing about web pages and how they render differently.
So for everybody in the room talking about this stuff, this is my grade test towards something that we want to do on the business side of the house, and that is to diversify where we can generate when it comes to promotions, when it comes to customization. We want to productize this. There's a reason that we make have these guys go and create parity, and that is that you've got pricing models and operations processes that support that process as well as all the approvals from the brand. So taking this next step, as these guys move through this, just from a great business perspective, this gives us an opportunity to go to start to productize the way we go to the brands and give them options, and to our channel partners to give them options for the types of templates that they will be able to do. Before we just start exposing that to our clients, we want to make sure we got our stuff in order, and then we charge for it. This is added value here. And we sell it as added value, not charge for it, or really not traditional funds for management costs. A little insight into how we do it and the group. So, looking great.
Thank you.
Just one thing to mention. So next step for the team, we're going to be securing the cert, the way that we encrypt the link and some various things there. And then we'll be going on to B2B store. There may be some stuff that rolls out of this once we put it on migrating people. And we also have the Raven DB team to figure out what they were going to. But anyways, that's a whole technical piece. But that's kind of what's up to the team. So that's what we see in the future.
It's very cool.
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Oh, there it is.
You were gonna let me do my share my other templates.
So I have a question. Yes. How the dynamic content in your email? How does that work? Is that
Oh, thank you. I'm a little nervous speaking, but
You did good.
I will take
Very
it.
good.
Thank you.
the dynamic content in your emails?
Yes. We give it the object, and now it's our configuration object. And also we pass in certain, we do configuration certain.
And then so that people know what properties are available. They know what that
It would be
policy is.
exactly like doing anything the other side.
But what if we expose
those bits for Right, so the way it works today is that we have this whatever.
Yeah.
But you can keep awesome instance, but I don't think that's like there's like tribal knowledge where people know, oh yeah, if I do like less than whatever
Well, we can expose the
Our goal is not to have anybody type.
Okay. Yeah.
So our goal is to expose the fields that they will just put in the data that's relevant, and then
This is a little.
so this, what you're seeing right now is both like the schedule view and the user view, because this will get us to be able to function really quickly. As soon as we find pieces we can extract, like colors or any of that shit, like then we hide the exact template.
There's all the stuff that
We
built this so we could build the off screen for them.
And the goal is really to have like these things where you get HTML, be able to templatize those so that you can outsource it. So you outsource that, and then you have like a SDK where you would have like documentation of what's available, but that's where you would see that. It's like, so if you have the SDK, you'd be able to say, here's your prototype thing you can port, and then your survey, and then add it to it. And you know, you can add those really so like that settings brand name. Then if you go up to the settings page, add a user input field that says settings.
Actually,
Show up here.
right. Really have it at the top of the house, like the thing that shows you the settings.
Yeah, we do.
These are all the settings, and that's where so you can see.
Oh, there we go. So this right here, there's the block.
Yeah, so default, it's like default get started. You've got your usage instructions, which is like.
And see what he's doing right
Yeah,
here. He's adding stuff to the object from the.
Yeah, so hold on, let me get an angle here.
Yeah, as you type in here, right, it shows you what the object looks like when you're modifying this. So like, you could sort of self-discovery some of this stuff.
Wait,
And you could even add your own.
so you got access to the settings object, but then you also have access to a cert object that has certain properties.
The way Shopify does it is they allow developers to create templates that includes creating a settings page. So they create a page that has like the stuff on it, that stuff.
It's like a
So,
dream within a dream, basically.
so
Like exception.
yeah, but the goal there is to make it so you don't have to learn what the API looks like. The people developing the templates know. And so they're the ones that create settings pages that work really well with the templates they provide. And then we can just have some common like sort dot stuff that like those are the actual pieces that come from our site that like get put in there. Also some other default pieces are template. So you can borrow a lot, but then have a fully custom template that just like convert somebody from one to the other.
So I just added this knot color,
Not.
and there it is.
Oh, but you left it the same thing. So notice he's like.
No, I didn't.
No, your NG model is the same as email background color.
Oh,
Because as you
yeah.
change it, it's changing the other ones.
Hold on. Anyways, but it's about that easy.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Right. I have a question for you.
I wasn't sure if you still wanted to.
Oh, the it's all good. Did you kill off the Google Hangout?
I was actually hoping you would ask me.
Going down.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was